The following program contains a harsh dose of reality, a lot of negativity, and rightfully so, and a lot of brutal honest truth being thrown down as it relates to the topic of professional wrestling. Now, if you are a salty bastard or a hypersensitive pussy, I would highly encourage you tune off the video and go seek mental help immediately. The following program begins in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms! And I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is the official Lightning Flash update for March 29th, 2019, as we are merely just a little bit over a week away from WrestleMania. And my God, we got a loaded episode of the Lightning Flash update today. And of course, we're starting off the Lightning Flash update with the weekly show reviews. But who the fuck wants to talk about Monday Night Raw? Realistically, people. Let me tell you something. Monday Night Raw, they literally tried everything to make this Raw somewhat decent, and each and every single segment just felt hollow, it felt empty, it felt valueless. Literally, everything on Raw, maybe outside of Triple H's promo, it just felt valueless. But yet this is WrestleMania season. Monday Night Raw, literally, everything on Monday Night Raw's side is just flat. It's flat. I mean, like, it's quite obvious. It's quite obvious. The main portion of the show, the main segments of the show, we have Ronda coming out, cutting a promo. Becky came out, said she was going to end WrestleMania with Ronnie's skull beneath her foot. Then Charlotte came out. She said that she brought women to the main event. Then we had the Beat the Clock challenge against the Riot Squad. So Rousey defeats Sarah Logan in 1:25. Charlotte couldn't beat the clock. Ruby Riott didn't tap out. Becky ended up rolling up Liv Morgan for the win. So Becky won the Beat the Clock challenge. What was the point of that? What was the point of it? For bragging rights? And might I remind you, a mere month ago, the Riot Squad was in the Elimination Chamber challenging for the women's tag team titles. Ruby Riott was facing Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. Here they are, jobbing to the three women who are going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Again, how many times do you need to sacrifice these women? How many women do you need to sacrifice for the sake of a first-time ever women's main event? I'm telling you, ever since that first promo after the Royal Rumble, ever since Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch, after that first promo after the Royal Rumble, this storyline only went downhill. If they had to add Charlotte, then fine. But you didn't have to go off and suspend Becky, unsuspend her, get her arrested, have her beat down Charlotte and Rousey with a crutch at the Chamber. You then had a match at Fastlane. You then had Ronda Rousey turn heel. You had Charlotte standing by like a dumbass. I mean, seriously, WWE and their over-convoluted booking completely killed any interest in the storyline to the point where people just want the match over with, including me. And then, trust me, I got plenty more to say when we get to what happened on Smackdown Live. Stick around, people. So from that, we go to what was supposed to be a handicap match with Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley taking on Finn Balor. And if Balor won, he would get an IC title match at Mania. Lio Rush says he can't compete because of Braun Strowman. Jinder Mahal replaces Lio Rush. Kill me now. The best part about this was that it was quick. 4-5 minutes, and Balor won the handicap match. Balor gets Lashley at Mania for the Intercontinental Championship. And you know something? You can tell that WWE knows that this entire storyline and a lot of fucking undercard storylines on Monday Night Raw have no steam behind them whatsoever. You know that WWE doesn't care about this storyline, and they know that the people don't care, and they're not even doing anything to make the people care, because this match ended in 4 or 5 minutes. That's how you know. I can almost guarantee you, Balor comes out as the Demon, squashes Lashley in 2 to 3 minutes, wins the Intercontinental Championship. Guarantee it. Ricochet and Aleister Black defeating the Revival. Again, look, decent tag team match, but at the end of the day, the WWE has been making literally all of their champions lose on the road to WrestleMania instead of actually building up a credible tag team division. Because you got Hawkins and Rye, you got the Lucha House Party, you could utilize them. Where's Slater and Rhino been? Why have they been stuck in catering? You could use them. Use the tag teams and actually start building some credibility rather than just throwing a tag team out there and having them beat the champions. It was even worse with Samoa Joe later in the night, which I will get to. It's even been worse with Samoa Joe. It's like Samoa Joe can't win, literally and figuratively. So most likely Ricochet and Aleister Black will be facing the Revival at WrestleMania for the tag team titles. Hopefully they'll actually get the proper amount of time and will actually get the Revival looking strong in the end. A guy can dream. Drew McIntyre came out to cut a promo. Now this I'm going to give Drew McIntyre all the credit in the world. This was actually a fantastic promo. Drew McIntyre is a great heel. Drew McIntyre is great at what he does on the mic, great at what he does in the ring. And I appreciate that WWE... Now, I will give WWE credit here, just a little bit, for the fact that they have been booking Drew McIntyre very consistently. And they have been giving Drew McIntyre these wins over Ambrose and Rollins. They've been booking Drew McIntyre like a legitimate, dominant beast. And they need a top heel on Monday Night Raw. It's apparent. I like how he was just bashing Roman's wife, Roman's children. Roman eventually came out. He accepted Drew McIntyre's challenge, and... Here's something that I tweeted out. Drew McIntyre's great heel work over the past 3 weeks has in turn gotten Roman Reigns over for the moment as a babyface, combined with the genuine reaction and the genuine respect for Joe Anoa'i that the people have for him for overcoming leukemia. So right now, what they're doing with Roman as a babyface is working. But again, WWE needs to be very careful. Drew McIntyre is slated for a push after WrestleMania. You cannot have Roman go over at WrestleMania. If Roman goes over at WrestleMania, Roman could very well be inserted back into the Universal title picture immediately after WrestleMania. I know they're going to boo him. I know for a fact they're going to boo him at WrestleMania. There's no way that Roman goes into WrestleMania 35 and he doesn't get booed. In Jersey, my state. They need to be very careful. Because if they put Roman in a position where he beats McIntyre after everything that's happened, and they insert him back into the Universal title picture after WrestleMania, no matter who's the champion, we're going to be back to where we were before Roman had leukemia. Or his leukemia came back, excuse me. There was a brawl. We had McIntyre hitting a low blow and a Claymore on Roman. Now, I am going to give this match a chance. I am actually looking forward to seeing this match because it could be a very good undercard match. I am looking forward to it. Ambrose then was backstage and then he challenged McIntyre to a last man standing match. So we got another match with Roman's buddy Dean, and Drew McIntyre. Then we get a repeat from last week. The same script as last week. Nia and Tamina interrupting a match with Sasha and Natty. The only difference here is Beth Phoenix actually got physical and she took out Tamina with a glam slam. Then we got a Fatal 4-Way. Fatal 4-Way between the Iconics, Nia Jax and Tamina, Sasha and Bayley, and Beth Phoenix and Natalya. Can you say piss break match? This match better not go more than 10 minutes because they are going to be busy. They meaning Sasha and Bayley. They're going to be busy with the Sky Pirates come June 8th at TakeOver San Jose. Hart Foundation's going into the Hall of Fame. Good. I'm happy for the Hart Foundation. Should be a nice moment. Oh, God. Moment of bliss. Whatever you want to call it. Moment of piss. I like to call it a moment of wish. As in, wish I ripped my eyes out so I wouldn't have to watch this garbage. Long story short, fucking Colin Jost and Michael Che from SNL are in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Words cannot describe how many brain cells I lost during this segment. I think I'm at least 5,000 brain cells short of what I was on Monday. I am literally 5,000 brain cells short and 2,000 brain cells away from a fucking aneurysm at this rate. And you know something? It is an absolute disgusting display that Andre the Giant's name is attached to this shit. WWE needs to pull all these fucking celebrities and all these fucking outsiders just to gain attention from the fucking irrelevant losers that still watch Saturday Night Live. Literally, the WWE pulling in these guys to make all this money that they don't even need. WWE still doesn't realize that the company itself is a company where the money is always going to be there. WWE's not going to go bankrupt if they don't fucking put Colin Jost and Michael Che in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And then I got a fucking idiot. I got this fucking idiot, Just Jeremy, hey yo. Yeah, who was once a DJ Storm's posse member. Oh, but I'm too negative, complaining about Monday Night Raw. Meanwhile, you got Michael Che and Colin Jost in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal instead of actually putting people like Andrade and Mustafa and Owens and Sanity in there to actually make the match credible and actually make the match somewhat interesting and unpredictable. No, you put Michael Che and Colin Jost in there so that way they could just get tossed out by Braun Strowman. And again, it sucks. It absolutely sucks how far Braun Strowman has fallen from grace. How this guy should have been Universal Champion back at No Mercy of 2017, and now he's in a position at WrestleMania where he's competing in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and now he's probably going to throw out Colin Jost and Michael Che. He's in a feud with Colin Jost and Michael Che. Last year, he teamed up with a referee's son to bury the bar and win the tag team titles. It's like Braun Strowman is cursed. It's like he's cursed. Here we go, another one. Another repeat from last week. Baron Corbin defeated Apollo Crews. And then next week, we got, wow, a 6-woman tag between the Riot Squad, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte. Stupendous. Said no one ever. Seth Rollins addressed the crowd as far as his Universal Championship match goes. Now, it was an okay promo. I'm not going to knock Rollins. It was okay. But ultimately, it was pretty much the same thing with Heyman coming out saying that, oh my God, he's mocking Seth Rollins. I need your thoughts and prayers. I need your thoughts and prayers. Rollins is trying to get behind the people. Rollins is trying to rally everyone saying that he is going to Suplex City with an army to burn it to the ground. Says he's not here to ask for prayers. He is here to answer them. So we're going to see how that works out. I mean, again, look, the match itself is going to be great. Match itself is going to be great, but this build has been terrible. This match is in the same boat as the women's triple threat. I just want to see the match and get it over with. At this rate, WrestleMania itself is shaping up to be an event where WWE just wants to put this shit out there and get it over with. Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe. Now look, this was a nice little back and forth encounter. Samoa Joe, intense as ever. Samoa Joe Kurt Angle was actually able to get Joe up for some suplexes and an angle slam. So I got to give props to Kurt Angle, whatever injury he's working through or whatever about his age. I'm going to give all the fucking props in the world to Kurt Angle. You got to respect the guy. You got to respect the guy for going on this farewell tour and wanting to face these guys. So Angle hit the angle slam. Joe kicked out. Joe, in the same manner that it has happened so many other times, Angle rolls up Joe for the win. And another loss for Samoa Joe. This is the third time in the last week that Samoa Joe has had to take a pinfall loss. First to Rey Mysterio, then to Kofi Kingston, now jobbing out to a 50-year-old Kurt Angle. Regardless of who it is, Samoa Joe is going into one of the biggest matches of his life. The biggest match of his career so far. The biggest match of his career so far at WrestleMania. He's walking into WrestleMania, the United States champion, defending that title in a primetime match against one of the greatest of all time in Rey Mysterio. And you're having him job out 3 times, 3 weeks in a row? When are we actually going to see some back and forth between Joe and Rey Mysterio on the mic? Are we going to have to wait till SmackDown next week? Are we going to have Joe take another pinfall loss? How many champions have lost on the road to WrestleMania? We had Asuka. We had Joe. We had Sasha and Bayley. We had the Revival. How many people? How many people? Literally, no champions have been booked correctly. I could look up and down the champions on the main roster. No champions have been booked like champions. The only champion that's been actually booked like a champion is Daniel Bryan. And that's only because he has creative control over his character. That just goes to show you how meaningless and worthless WWE main roster creative is. Triple H and his promo on Batista, saying how Batista was making up all this diluted bullshit, saying how, when he was in Evolution, now he said that didn't do anything for his career, but when he left Evolution, he was the world champion. Meanwhile, he had 6 world championship reigns later, and he quit because he couldn't beat John Cena, and he couldn't compete at WrestleMania because when Triple H returned his phone calls, his manager answered, and they tried to move WrestleMania to fit Batista's schedule because Batista was filming Guardians of the Galaxy. So then Triple H he actually read a letter that Batista wrote to him, and he was actually taking shots at the Spice Girls. He was doing a Spice Girl reference for Batista. It's pages and pages of I Want. I actually laughed at that, so I'm going to give Triple H credit for that. Triple H said that Batista wants him to put his career on the line at WrestleMania. And the last line of this was great. Triple H said, "You attacked a 70-year-old man 1 year after being on his deathbed just to get a match with me at WrestleMania, and then you sit back, and I agree, but then you send this letter because this is what you do. This is another excuse for you to quit." He says, "I'm not going to let you quit. At this point in my career, if I can't defeat a self-deluded douchebag like yourself, then I don't deserve to be in the ring. You want my career? You got it." That was a very nice touch at the end. I will give Triple H credit for that. I am interested in the match itself. As far as the winner goes, it could really swing either way. I don't really have a clear-cut decision on who I think is going to win this. Next week, they're trying everything to make Monday Night Raw somewhat watchable. Because next week we got Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio. Rey's coming over from SmackDown. Brock Lesnar's going to be on Raw next week. And then we got the last man standing match. Drew McIntyre defeated Dean Ambrose. This was basically, if you saw the Falls Count Anywhere match, then you saw this. Drew McIntyre put him through a table, hit the Claymore. Dean Ambrose couldn't stand up. Drew McIntyre stood tall. All in a way to make Drew McIntyre look strong. That was that. SmackDown. Now, I'm going to tell you how SmackDown was as a whole after I get past the Charlotte and Asuka situation. The show kicked off with the New Day, and the New Day was discussing walking away. So Vince McMahon came out. Bryan then came out. Bryan's still with great heel work. Xavier Woods actually called Daniel Bryan a hypocrite because Bryan is now on the side in which he was fighting against years ago. So obviously Xavier Woods dropping a little bit of truth there. Bryan still calling Kofi a B+ player. So Vince McMahon basically made the decision of having a tag team gauntlet match. If the New Day, if Xavier Woods and Big E, if they win, then Kofi gets his WrestleMania match. Now, I do have some news on this tag team gauntlet match and where it may lead to. Now, it may not be what you like, but based on everything that's happened, I can definitely see it playing out. And I'm going to explain to you what that is when we get to the news, rumors, and reports. Charlotte versus Asuka for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Listen. I apologize about my dog. Listen. The fact of the matter is this entire situation and this entire decision is without a shadow of a doubt one of the worst decisions made in 2019 thus far. Now, don't try and misconstrue what I'm saying. I am not upset about the match. I am not upset about the match. The match itself was great. The match itself was phenomenal. The match embodied what women's wrestling is supposed to be about. Great chemistry between Charlotte and Asuka, the intense strikes from Asuka, Spanish Fly from Charlotte. These two women work great together. The match was great, but the outcome and everything underneath and everything that can follow what we saw, it is absolutely inexcusable, and it is absolutely one of the worst decisions that WWE could ever have made in 2019 thus far. First of all, why are you just going to gift Charlotte out of nowhere a SmackDown Live Women's Championship match, basically solidifying Charlotte? Yeah, she's the female Roman Reigns. Charlotte is the female Roman Reigns. And on top of that, how do you think this makes all the other women feel? How do you think this makes all the other women feel when all those other 4 women that were supposed to compete in a Fatal 4-Way match, they were expressing their displeasure at what took place? There was even hashtags for Asuka deserves better. But that is not even the tip of the iceberg. Everyone's claiming that this is such a great decision, that they're going to merge the division. We're going to merge the divisions and everything's going to be great because the separate divisions are terrible. The separate divisions are terrible. Yeah, but whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? That's not the women's fault. Even with the shitty women. Yes, there are shitty women in the division. The Iconics are cancer to everyone's ears. Nia Jax is AIDS to everyone's eyes. Dana Brooke, irrelevant. Alicia Fox, waste of space. All of them go to the unemployment line. Yes, I get it. But even with the shitty women that offer no value and bring the show down, they could still put on good shows with those separate divisions. You take a look at Monday Night Raw. They actually got a pretty solid division outside of those shitty women. Natty is good in the ring. Could be better character, but she's still good in the ring. Ember Moon when she comes back. Sasha, Bayley, Ruby Riott. Nikki Cross, depending on where she goes. I'll even include Lacey Evans if they decide to put her on Raw. Lacey Evans can wrestle, but they fucking turned her into a catwalk model. You take a look on SmackDown Live, outside of Charlotte and Becky Lynch, take a look on SmackDown Live. It's actually very underrated. Mandy Rose is improving. Right now she's in a tag team with Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville, very good. She's coming along. Naomi's great. Asuka's great. Carmella's even improved. I'll even include her in there. Zelina Vega. You put Nikki Cross on SmackDown Live. That is a legit division outside of the shitty women. Lana, irrelevant. The Iconics, cancer. Who cares? Who cares about them? But you take a look at those separate divisions, you're telling me that WWE cannot book 2 good separate divisions? The problem is not the women themselves in the divisions. The problem is WWE creative and writing, because they don't know how to properly book the separate divisions. And it's quite apparent. You're telling me that merging the divisions is going to be a good decision? WWE can't book the divisions right separately. You do realize that if they merge the divisions, we're going to have the same fucking women in a circle, fighting over the championship as far as the singles championship goes. Where is there going to be room and where's there going to be opportunities for women like Nikki Cross, women like Ruby Riott? What about Sonya Deville, Carmella, Naomi, Asuka, Lacey Evans, Ember Moon? Do you realize that Ember Moon, before she got injured, she was on the main roster for 9 months. 9 months on Monday Night Raw. Separate division, and she did not receive one opportunity at the Raw Women's Championship. Not one. Not one. Not one. Not one. Not one. One of the best women on the roster. One of the best women's performers on Monday Night Raw, and not one fucking opportunity at the Raw Women's Championship. So what makes you think that WWE is going to give women like Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, and all the other women I just named opportunities when they weren't even giving them opportunities on the separate brands to begin with? And on top of that, this just adds to the list of names in the women's division that you sacrificed for the main event of WrestleMania and the women's triple threat match. You just sacrificed Naomi, Carmella, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose a spit in the fucking face to all those women who are going to compete to fight for an opportunity to face Asuka, and it's the biggest spit in the face to Asuka. I read there's currently no plans to add Asuka into the Women's Championship match at WrestleMania. There's no plans to add her. And on top of that, I wasn't even going to call this guy out. I was not even going to call this guy out, but I have to. Fucking Sean Ross Sapp saying, oh, Asuka's going to be fine. Tweeted that Asuka's going to be fine. Are you fucking mental? Are you fucking mental? You do realize that this is how the entire downward spiral for Asuka started in the first place. Asuka was never the same after she lost to Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. That was one of the worst booking decisions of 2018. Asuka should have never lost her streak at WrestleMania 34. The proper woman to beat Asuka was Ember Moon at this year's WrestleMania, should Ember Moon have never gotten injured. Ember Moon was the woman to defeat Asuka's to end Asuka's undefeated streak. You do realize this is how everything bad that happened to Asuka started. Because after WrestleMania, Asuka was buried in a feud with Carmella and James Ellsworth. Then she was taken off the TV for the better part of 2 months, came back, lost a tag team match with Naomi against the Iconics at Super Showdown, and then she was seemingly given the SmackDown Live Women's Championship just to keep Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair away from it so they could focus on the storyline with Ronda, because people were calling that as the main event of WrestleMania 35 after Becky Lynch got legitimately injured. And then after the Royal Rumble with Becky Lynch, WWE seemingly just forgot about Asuka and said, yeah, she's worthless, as well as the entire SmackDown Live Women's division's worthless. The WWE is to blame for not building up a credible challenger and not building up Asuka and not focusing on the SmackDown Live Women's division. It is not the women's fault. The fact is, and most people don't even fucking realize this because they're fucking idiots, WWE is selective. The main roster is selective with the things that they deem important. The main roster is selective with the things that they feel should be focused on. They only pick out certain things and certain people and certain feuds, and they forget about the rest. They forget about everything else, and they basically deem the entire undercard on Raw or SmackDown outside of the main event worthless. Meanwhile, you take a look at Triple H. He's putting effort into everything, right down to the jobbers in NXT. The guy took Humberto Carrillo, who I didn't even know existed. He took Humberto Carrillo, he put him on 205 Live. He took Humberto Carrillo. Humberto Carrillo has been doing better, and he's been being booked better on 205 Live than Asuka's been booked better on SmackDown Live in the last year. Do you realize how sad that is? And then this happened. Putting the SmackDown Live Women's Championship on Charlotte, worst decision that they have made this year thus far. Combining the divisions, and where do you think, you really think they're going to have all this time to put all these women on both brands? What, you're going to take away a title? What, you're going to try and add a mid-card title? What, you're taking away a title only to add a title? What was the point? Separate divisions are needed because opportunities are going to be eliminated. Again, I will state, what's going to happen to Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, the entire Riott squad, pretty much. Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Asuka, Carmella, Naomi. What's going to happen to Shayna Baszler when she gets called up to the main roster? What's going to happen to people like Candice LeRae, Casey Catanzaro, Bianca Belair, the Sky Pirates, Io Shirai and Kairi Sane? What, are you just going to delegate all of them to either the tag team titles or catering? There was not enough tag teams on both brands to make separate tag team titles, which is why they did one set of women's tag team titles, which I understand and I have no problem with. But two separate women's singles championships are needed, one on Raw, one on SmackDown, because of the fact that there are way too many women to give equal opportunities to. Again, I state, where will there be opportunities for the NXT women when they come up to the main roster? Where's there going to be opportunities for the people that haven't even gotten opportunities to begin with? Do you seriously have any faith in WWE to give superstars like Nikki Cross, who hasn't even been seen in a match since before the Elimination Chamber? What about Ember Moon? Lacey Evans? Are they going to finally end her little catwalk gimmick? Instead of WWE is to blame for not keeping Asuka on television and then doing a fucking Temptation Island storyline ripoff with Mandy Rose and Naomi. That wasn't the women's fault. It was WWE Creative's fault. Merging the divisions is not going to change a thing. The only thing that's going to change is if WWE Creative magically finally sprouts some brains or Vince McMahon steps out of office. Everything goes through Creative and Vince McMahon. And that is not going to change whether you merge the divisions or not. Merging of the divisions is only going to make things worse than they are now. And truthfully, if I was Asuka, I don't care, I dropped my pen, I don't care, I do this in one shot. If I was Asuka, I would walk away. Truthfully. The fact that they couldn't even book her right when she was the SmackDown Live Women's Champion and then basically made her into the female Shinsuke Nakamura, having her not even defend the title, having her not even appear on TV, Asuka should just walk away. If I was Asuka, I would walk away. There is nothing, there is absolutely nothing that can justify what WWE has done with a woman like Asuka in the last year. There's nothing. Nothing can justify it. Everything I just stated is 1,000% factual. There is no excuse and you cannot defend it. Merging the divisions is not a valid argument. That is an excuse. Because, again, I will state, the fact that the divisions are terrible have nothing to do with the women. It just has to do with the fact that WWE is lazy. They are lazy and they are uncreative and they cannot book two good separate divisions. Hell, you could give me the Iconics, you could give me Dana Brooke, Alicia Fox, Tamina, Nia Jax, and I will book a better division with those shitty women than WWE can book a merged division with all the talented women that they got. I guarantee it. That's the truth. If you don't like it, too bad, you can suck my testicles. Suck my testicles. Merging the divisions, not a valid argument at all. It's an excuse and nothing's going to change unless Vince McMahon steps out of office. Everything runs through Vince and the shitty main roster creative and nothing's going to change. Nothing is going to change whether they merge the divisions or not. It is not the women's fault. Separate divisions are needed or else the opportunities are going to be eliminated. I needed to let that out. I've been holding that in since Tuesday. My problem's not with the match. I will say it again. My problem is not with the match itself. It was the outcome and everything underneath and everything that's going to follow, that could very well follow what's going to happen. I'm just as big of a fan of Becky Lynch as the next guy. I love Becky Lynch. She's in my top 3. But we don't need Becky Lynch with 2 women's championships. We don't need a merged divisions. A merged division is not necessary. There are too many women. There's my answer to everyone that doesn't like it. And if you think that I was being too negative, that goes out to you too, Jeremy. Well, you can suck my testicles. I'm right, you know it, and you can't touch me. Nobody can touch me. Moving on. Now, SmackDown as a whole, it was actually a good wrestling show. It had some good wrestling, and it had some storyline progression. SmackDown, they tried, and they did a decent job at building towards their end of WrestleMania as far as certain storylines go. Miz came out, cut a promo. Miz is very good at cutting his promos. I don't have anything to complain about there. Miz says he wants Shane in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Security and Superstars came out basically to protect Shane. Shane, just rubbing salt in the wound, he makes it official and he says that he is going to erase his father's greatest mistake. He's talking about the Miz's father, and that's when he impregnated your mother. Now, Miz just fucking lost it. He took out all the superstars, all the security guards. He took out Sanity. There was a brawl in the crowd. I like this intensity from The Miz. And truthfully, they, putting a stipulation on this storyline, made it even more intense to a point where these two could end up having perhaps the best match of the night. So the intensity from The Miz, the intensity from babyface Miz, and the cockiness from Shane McMahon, keep this going. Keep this going. I am enjoying what they are putting out. This storyline, I'm more invested in this storyline and this match than the entire Monday Night Raw side, and that's saying something. From that, we go into the gauntlet match, and Gallows and Anderson, they got jobbed out in 2 minutes. AEW's calling Gallows and Anderson's name. Rusev and Nakamura were out next. New Day got rid of them. The Bar versus the New Day was very good. I expected it to be. And they ended up getting the win over the Bar. The Bar lost, and then they put Big E through the table. Now, at this rate, this is where things started getting a little interesting. The Usos come out. And I'm afraid that they're going to have the Usos take another pinfall loss. They were going to have another set of champions take a pinfall loss. But they're trying to get Big E out of the table. Woods is trying to help Big E up. The Usos say, this isn't about any other championship opportunities except Kofi Kingston. You earned our respect. Good luck. We forfeit. That was a very nice touch. That was a nice touch right there. I respect WWE for doing that. Not having the Usos take a pinfall loss, having them forfeit out of respect for the New Day and Kofi Kingston. That right there was a very nice touch. Then we had Daniel Bryan and Rowan. This is where things started to get really interesting. Big E hit the big ending. Bryan kicked out. No, Bryan did not kick out. Bryan and the pinfall, it was broken up by Rowan. Xavier Woods then took out Daniel Bryan. Bryan took a nasty fall, actually. He took a DDT, and then he went lower back first into the barricade. Rowan was going for the claw slam on Woods. Rowan gets sent to the post. Woods, out of nowhere, Woods throws Rowan into the post, and then Big E throws Rowan over the table, and then buries Rowan underneath the table. They get back in the ring. They win via countout. Kofi versus Bryan is official at Mania. They booked this gauntlet match much better than last week's gauntlet match with Kofi. This was very nice. This was very well done. I will give WWE credit for that, and they were able to gain some sort of interest back into the Kofi Kingston storyline. So now it's official. Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. This could very well be the match of the night. Could very well be match of the night. Oh my god, my fucking throat hurts. That's it. That's what happens. That's what happens when WWE goes off and does a decision like Charlotte defeating Asuka for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. That's what happens. I still got 3 more shows to review, and then we got to get into the news, rumors, and reports. So stick around. We're probably going to go 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen. I told you, this shit's going to be loaded. 205 Live, this actually had a lot of good storyline development. They're actually developing storylines for after WrestleMania. You got a lot of good storylines going on 205 Live. Listen to this. So, show started off with a 6-man tag between the Lucha House Party, Drew Gulak, Jack Gallagher, and Humberto Carrillo, which turned out to be a very good match. The crowd was good. So, Drew Gulak and Jack Gallagher were wearing down Gran Metalik. We had a tag made by Kalisto. Kalisto was going at it with Humberto Carrillo. We had the Lucha House Party taking flight as Kalisto did a Tope Con Hero. Meanwhile, Lince Dorado and Gran Metalik, they did double moonsaults. They got some height on that. We had a great sequence where the Lucha House Party, we had Gran Metalik do a sunset flip powerbomb Tower of Doom combination. Lince Dorado then came off the top rope with a shooting star press. Kalisto and Humberto Carrillo got into it. Gallagher took out Lince with a headbutt. All 6 men were down. Down the stretch, Humberto was going for the moonsault, but Drew Gulak was like, no, get down. So obviously Gulak and Humberto building the tensions there, which allowed Kalisto to hit the Salida del Sol on Humberto, and Lucha House Party win. So there's one storyline. Drew Gulak and Humberto. Humberto's first legit storyline on 205 Live. Working with a good heel like Drew Gulak with Jack Gallagher. I can get behind that. I can see Humberto challenging for the Cruiserweight Championship by the summer. Then we got the storyline with Mike Kanellis. Mike Kanellis and Akira Tozawa next week. Mike Kanellis could be set up for a Cruiserweight title opportunity after WrestleMania for all we know. There's one right there. Then we had a pre-taped segment with Murphy down in Orlando. He's claiming he's a Cruiserweight hybrid. He didn't realize that Nice was there. Nice ended up starting a brawl. This is building towards their Cruiserweight Championship match at WrestleMania, which I can't wait for. You give those guys 15 minutes, I think it's going to be a great match. Mustafa versus Cedric was a very good match at last year's WrestleMania, resulted in Cedric winning the Cruiserweight title. I can't wait to see this match. This match has a lot more storyline going into it. Last year's match was just a tournament. But this year's match, a lot more storyline to go into it. I can't wait to see this. We had Arya Daivari versus Cedric in the main event. Now, it was a good match for what it was. Arya Daivari, I'm going to give Arya Daivari credit. Arya Daivari can still go in the ring. Cedric's a great babyface in his own right, but the main person in this match, the main person wasn't even in the match. The main storyline here was the fact that Oney Lorcan is back. Yes, Oney Lorcan is now an official member of 205 Live, what I've been calling since the tournament began. Oney Lorcan, he cost Cedric this match. Distracted Cedric. Cedric got rolled up by Arya Daivari. Arya Daivari got the win. Oney Lorcan attacked Cedric afterwards. He's now a full-blown heel, and you heard what he was saying as he was attacking Cedric. You took my dream. You took my dream. Simple storytelling. Oney Lorcan is pissed that Cedric took him out of the tournament and robbed him of a match at WrestleMania. Simple storytelling. I'm more invested in this storyline with Oney Lorcan and Cedric more so than I am the fucking women's triple threat at Mania. None of this over-convoluted shit. None of this suspension and then unsuspension and then arresting and then adding a person to the match and then turning a person heel. Or going through 500 different gauntlet matches to get a match at WrestleMania with Kofi Kingston. This is all you need. Oney Lorcan is going to be a great addition to 205 Live. You add a little more. You add guys like, if you add guys like Ligero, if you add guys like Raul Mendoza, you can add them. If you add somebody like Flash Morgan Webster, even Jordan Devlin. You can add Jordan Devlin to 205 Live. If you add some more people to 205 Live, I think that 205 Live is going to get back to prominence where it was in the middle of 2018. Because the middle of 2018 was a great period for 205 Live. Oney Lorcan and Cedric in an undercard feud after WrestleMania. It's going to be some great shit. Great shit. Cedric is a great babyface. Oney Lorcan coming in as a heel. Trust me. Trust me. It's going to be something to watch. Very good episode of 205 Live. Had some decent wrestling, but a lot of storyline being built towards after WrestleMania. I can't wait to see Oney Lorcan and Cedric in this feud. NXT UK is actually doing the same thing as 205 Live. Again, they're building towards their storylines after WrestleMania. So Jordan Devlin started off defeating Dan Maloney. That was just basically that to give Jordan a win. Cassius Ohno came out and quote-unquote apologizes towards Ashton Smith, but really, Ohno just couldn't help himself. He's just rubbing salt in the wound. He's just being a prick. Cassius Ohno as a heel on NXT UK. I'm loving what they're doing with Cassius Ohno on NXT UK. I think that Cassius Ohno being built up as a top heel on NXT UK could work wonders. Cassius Ohno and Walter for the UK Championship, I wouldn't mind that at all. He then warns Travis Banks not to step to him or he's going to knock him to bits. So a feud between Travis Banks and Cassius Ohno. I don't know about you guys, but I think that that's going to be a great match. So we got that going on. In 2 weeks, actually, we got Toni Storm and Jinny for the NXT UK Women's title. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to take place over WrestleMania Access. I will be going to WrestleMania Access next Friday, actually. 1 week from today. Rhea Ripley versus Xia Brookside. This actually was a decent match. This was actually Xia Brookside's best match. I'm actually impressed with how far Xia Brookside has come. Xia Brookside was taking it to Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley obviously just doing her overpowering shtick. Xia Brookside with the double knees. We had a huge crossbody to the outside. and a diving code breaker, which Rhea Ripley sold beautifully. Got a 2 count. In the end, Xia Brookside was overpowered, tossed right into the corner, and then Rhea Ripley hit the Riptide to win in a decent match. And then what happened afterwards was even better. Rhea Ripley states that she's the dominant woman in NXT UK, but out of nowhere, Piper Niven, aka Viper, made her debut. She versus Rhea Ripley. Piper Niven versus Rhea Ripley. There you go. Another undercard women's storyline. See, this is what I'm talking about. You don't need to have a merged division. You don't need to have all this other shit. All you need to do is have great booking as far as the women's division goes. Now we're going to get Piper Niven and Rhea Ripley. We got that as an undercard storyline. We got Ginny and Toni Storm fighting for the NXT UK Women's Championship. Next week, we actually got Kaylee Ray versus Isla Dawn. Competitive women's division. That's what you gotta do. There you go. Next week, we also got Trent Seven versus Joe Coffey. That's going to be a great match, too. Speaking of great match, Noam Dar and Mark Andrews was actually turning into a great match, but it actually had to stop due to the referee because Noam Dar is legit injured. This actually came out, I believe it was a month ago, because they did these tapings like a month ago. And it was confirmed that Noam Dar did legitimately re-injure his knee. However, I don't know the severity. We don't know the severity, but based on what has happened in the past, he could be out 6 to 9 months. Hopefully it's not that big of a tear, but whatever it is, I wish Noam Dar the best in his recovery. I'm a fan of Noam Dar. I was actually looking forward to seeing what he could do on NXT UK. And, that's all I can say about that. But yes, Noam Dar is legitimately injured. I don't know how long he's going to be out. If I do happen to find a report on how long he's going to be out, I will be sure to notify you guys immediately. And then the main segment, Pete Dunne and Walter, whatever the hell you want to call him, Walter, signed the contract for their match at TakeOver New York. Dunne basically says that NXT UK belongs to him, but Walter spoke for the first time. He says that he could put Dunne through a table if he wanted to, but he doesn't need to do that to prove a point. Because in New York, at TakeOver, the reign of the Bruiserweight will end. Again, simple storytelling. I cannot wait to see this match. This could very well be one of the most underrated matches of the entire weekend. Keep your eye on this match, people. Keep your eye on this match. NXT was actually very good. And we actually had a face-off between Cole and Gargano to start off the show. And Gargano's just being sly, sitting on the top rope, saying, I love the Johnny Wrestling chants. Adam Cole saying, I don't need your support. Just doing their normal shtick. And Johnny Gargano goes, hey, we're going to make history. Adam Cole, a million reasons why he's going to walk out of the Barclays Center NXT champion. Go. And then he goes, no, we actually have another history-making moment. Adam Cole is at a loss for words. So obviously Cole was running down his resume, saying that Johnny Gargano is nothing but Johnny participation. But Gargano actually cut a fantastic promo and ran through his life story. He was told no. They rolled out the red carpet for you, Adam Cole. I was told no. I had to earn the NXT Tag Team titles. I had to earn my career back from Tommaso Ciampa. I had to fight because this right here, this is my life. I had to earn the North American Championship against Ricochet at TakeOver Phoenix. I have earned everything that I have set out to accomplish in NXT. I've earned everything that I've gotten in NXT. And I'm going to earn the NXT title too. Great stuff. I was already invested in the match, but now I'm even more invested in the match. And it is very hard for me. It is very, very hard for me to actually choose between the two. Because I want to see both as NXT champion, but if Gargano's not going to win the title at the hands of Tommaso Ciampa, then there really is no reason for Gargano to be NXT champion. I'm going to elaborate on this next week. Because next Tuesday, my birthday. Yes, sir. Next Tuesday, my birthday is going to be a very special day because on my birthday, I am going to post the rundown for NXT TakeOver New York. And I'm going to elaborate on all the matches going into TakeOver New York. Do not miss it. From that, we went into a women's tag team match between Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah taking on Lacey Lane and Kacy Catanzaro. Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir just came down and they just beat down Lacey and Kacy. And Shayna Baszler just obviously building towards this women's Fatal 4-Way at TakeOver. So that was basically part of the build. Next week, we got Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair. I can't wait to see that. We had a match between Matt Riddle and Kona Reeves. Now, this was quick, but what happened was the Velveteen Dream came out with two women carrying him on a rolling couch. He was like on a couch with these purple pillows, the smoke, the North American title. He was drinking out of a chalice, wearing his sunglasses and shit. And Matt Riddle ended up defeating Kona Reeves. I knew he would. Then Velveteen Dream's like, the winner facing your Velveteen Dream at TakeOver, Matthew Riddle. So Matt then came up, he took the chalice, bounced the chalice, then threw it over his head, took the mic, he goes, see you at TakeOver, bro. So I'm looking forward to this North American Championship match. This is shaping up to be very good. Now, then we had the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And it definitely lived up to the hype. Definitely lived up to the hype. This, great match. Absolutely great match. I loved every minute of it. The Forgotten Sons, I'm loving the Forgotten Sons. I love how they just cut the ring in half. I love how they're very scrappy. They will literally do anything and everything, chopping out the legs, chopping out the back. They were working on the back of Ricochet. Aleister Black came in. He's doing his normal shtick. We had a lot of great double team moves. We had a double team move where we had a backbreaker by Wesley Blake into the elbow drop by Steve Cutler for a 2 count broken up by Ricochet. Ricochet taking out both men with the Fosby flop. We had Wesley Blake did an innovative move where he had Aleister Black in a powerbomb position, but he reversed it into a gutbuster. And Jackson Riker got caught pushing Aleister Black's leg off the rope. Referee ejected Jackson Riker. They went for I think they were going for their double team move, but Wesley Blake caught a Black Mass. Aleister Black made the tag to Ricochet. Aleister Black did his springboard moonsault, taking out Steve Cutler on the outside. Picture perfect 630. Ricochet and Aleister Black defeat the Forgotten Sons in a great match to win the Dusty Rhodes Classic. We get the War Raiders versus Ricochet and Black at TakeOver for the NXT Tag Team titles. This could be one of the best tag team matches in NXT history. Keep your eye on this match. These guys are going to get 15 to 20 minutes. These guys are going to kick off TakeOver, and my God, are we going to get a show stealer. A show stealer. Keep your eye on this match, people. Trust me. Keep your eye on every match on TakeOver. Keep your eye on every match on TakeOver. My God. Oh my God, my throat still fucking hurts. You can thank WWE for that. I'm running out of water too. But don't worry, we're on the news, rumors, and reports. So hopefully my throat can hold up. Shit that I do for you guys, man. You better get this video to 20 thumbs up. Hey, you motherfuckers better get this video to 20 thumbs up. Because I'm losing my voice for you. I'm losing my voice for you. I'm spending an hour plus on here for you guys. And trust me, the content that I got coming for WrestleMania weekend, you better be showing your boy some love. You better be showing your boy some love.